It is I, Doc, from North America. Da-da-da. And let's see if we can get the YouTube going. There you are.
Filterby presents. How often do I really need to change it? How often should you change the channel?
Okie dokie. Doc here. Let's see what's going on. Euro is playing itself down a little bit more today than it was yesterday. Doc here. Let's see. Let's see what the Euro is doing. You can see here on J4X, it's been slip sliding it away. Nothing major. I mean, we did get up into the, where did we get up to? 20 and change. Let me just double check it. Let's go look at, where's it at? Oh, let's go there. Oh no, it's just change windows. That's what it is. Change windows. There it is. Euro. So we got up to 20 and change. Very low 20 and change. We were thinking that we were going to get into the mid 20s. There were a lot of traders here that were thinking that we'd see 125, and it had to look like it was trying to do that. So far, it's a no-go. It's one of those Euler things. Go, no go, go, no go. And so it seems to be drifting back down again. And you can see here on our Chicago Quant, it is like, let's see if we can widen this a little bit. You can see where the weekly is like, that's conjunction down. You can see there, okay, yes, we are slipping below the zero line, okay? So Mr. and Mrs. Math, and the ether, whatever it is telling us it wants to go down, 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 down. You can see here on a daily basis, we've already slid into the sell, and you can see it's been pressing down now for days. The time manifolds have been, pierced, and histogram is minus, and the white line is minus, and of course that generates a sell, and no dot at all at the beginning of it, which is always neat. And you can see this thing is drifting down, and it's been, it's been a nice move. Where is it? Is it 15? Oh, that's right. This is 15 weeks. All right. So for line 14, it's 16 weeks now. Okay. For line 14, 16 weeks in a buy. So this thing has been just chugging along. Chugga, 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 chugga. It's had a nice move. It's gone from the 108 area all the way up to the 120 area. So it's been pretty interesting in its weekly trend. It tried to divert right here. Just went to zeros, I think it was right there, right? Yeah, not even, just barely. So one dropped, the white line dropped minus, but the histogram stayed plus, and it was like, ooh, we're going to go into a sell, and we were in a daily sell for a few days, and then it jumped into the daily buy again, and obviously the weekly turned up, and so it did not roll over like the puppy dog that it can do. So that is the analysis of the Euro. Anybody have anything else they want to ask about? It's a quiet day, and I don't see many bodies in here. I guess this is one of those days where we'll go to the recording. Very quiet. People will pile in, see what's up with Doc, and see what insanity he's doing today. Staring at the abyss. It's like kind of quoting Nietzsche, Let's put that up there. It's that quiet that I think I can get away with this. Let's see. Let's check out Nietzsche. Let's see if we can find it here. We shall find it, and we will show you the quote that we are the abyss. We look into the abyss, and the abyss looks back at us. When fighting the monster. Yes, indeed. We don't have to put that picture up there. We can just go along with it just by me yakking about it. And so that is pretty much where we're at the moment. It's kind of a, the Euro is a happy hump day too, traders. Happy to hump day. That usually meant a greater intoxication around the corner. He who fights with monsters should look to it that he himself does not become a monster. And when you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you. Friedrich Nietzsche. Ah, yes. So That's where we are now. Is that the euro has stared into the abyss and it's trying to roll over. Now let's jump over to cable, since no one seems to be caring about anything particular, and no one's even saying hi this morning. Make sure I'm not the last man on Earth. Let me know that the rest of the world is out there, because I am in my bunker. Let's see. That is the cable. You can see the cable is trying to roll over too. You get the white line and the histogram going into the minus. Just like you see J4X with the euro heading down to the bottom. And then let's go to the cable on J4X. J4X to the cable. Cable to the J4X. Come in, J4X. There it is right there. You see that? Lots of red with the hinky ashy. It's got that set theory type of neighborhood thing going on there. And you can see this is about 70%, 70 some odd percent correlated to our mathematics, so that's why we show it. You know, the J4X has a good way of emulating our math with these combinations of relative, I guess you could call them non and linear lines. And so, and how they react to each other, it's all relative. And so, in this case here, you can see on our work, which is showing you the zero line where it's broken through and so forth. And now the weekly is doing its thing. That was a good move too. Cable, where'd cable come from? It came from the 125 area and made a run to the almost made it to 135. It got the 134.82. So over a 900 pip move. Not bad. And you can see it's flirting here. And like I said, you can see it's been in a daily sell from here. So, you know, that's just the action we're seeing there. There you go, Yellowfish. What were we gonna talk about? I remember that. We were gonna talk about some of the concepts of using like 40-45 delta options with about anywhere from 55 to 65 days out to hedge against, instead of using a stop. You know, you buy one of those, and so you're over 50% under hedged in a sense. But then the objective is you're not buying the put to make money. You're buying the underlying product, or the hard delta, as I like to refer to it, or some people call it the spot. Oh yes, we were going to talk about 3-minute binary options too. Logic to me was, I know that when I did the contest for Dukascopy, we were looking at what Janos had put together when it came to trading fundamentals. And so we were looking, you buy it a minute into before it even happens, or 2 minutes before it happens, and then it opens the doorway for you to get out of it within a minute after the wild action has occurred. And that's the binaries as I sip my tea. And that's the way to use the binaries. Those 3-minute binaries is looking for instant gratification type of action, increased volatility, uncertainty for institutions. Remember, one of the powers behind fundamental transactions at key fundamental economic news periods, or points in space, what you get is you're getting the institutions that have incorporations. So you have hedge funds and mutual funds and so forth. They're incorporated. And when they take public money, they have to define how they're going to trade. And so usually the easiest thing of all for them to say is, oh, well, if inflation starts to show its evil eyes, we will adjust our portfolio accordingly to reduce risk. And so they are trapped into have to make a trade. Now, they've learned that don't make a big trade, just make a trade, and then they can't be sued. I know that sounds a little strange, but here in America, that's part of our American sport, and that is having institutions. My son works for one. He used to work at JPM Chase. Now he works for a law firm for the portfolio team. And what they do is they sue different entities if someone makes a odd statement or does something wrong. Then if that fund has been investing in a product in the morning, that morning, they sue them for what they lost in the trade. Obviously, if they make money, they don't do anything. But if they lose money, let's say they stepped up to buy, to adjust their portfolio, they bought 30,000 shares or 20 or 50 or 100,000 shares or something, to keeping the portfolio balanced. And then some news comes out from the fund that they've done something foolish. They sue them. It's the same thing with, that's corporations. And then if it's a fund, if they don't execute orders matched to their manifesto in their incorporation, they'll sue them for that. Doesn't matter if they're up 20% for the year. They will sue them anyway, just for the fun of it, because it's easier to make money suing than it is trading. So that's what we're talking about here. And so using the binaries, you go about a minute ahead of time or 2 minutes ahead of time of a financial news, economic news event that could be very volatile, and you put on the options to it. And then it'll exercise out after a minute. And it can be relatively close in price. You can end up paying only because you're doing it as a pairs trade, of course. Binaries, hence the word binary. And so you're, like buying a call and selling a call, or buying a put and selling a put. Or hell, you probably could be doing, even if you wanted to be a maniac, you could go out and sell straddles in it or buy straddles in it. Or strangles in it or whatever. In other words, it all comes down to your analysis and how much volatility you believe that could come out of the news itself. Now, I said that relatively fast, thinking that people will watch the video. And then now I can slow it down, and we can analyze that at your pace or your interest or your inquisitiveness. So what can I do for you today? Would you like fries with that? So, what else can we discuss about the binary, slow and steady, and more accurately? But I did that fast just for the video, because I noticed that there's a few people on right now. So I'm assuming that they will go to the video and be able to look at that. So Yellowfish. Do I need to put your mascot up on the screen again? I like that idea. Let's see if we can find that mascot again. Let's go see that. Let's see your mascot. Because it's such a quiet day. And it is Happy to Hump Day. And Doc is being Doc. He's just being... No one's asking me questions besides you. So, why not? Where's your mascot? Let's find your mascot. We'll find it. Yes, we will. There it is. Nope, that's not it. And we'll go there. And we'll go there. And we'll go there. And there it is. Here's your mascot. Do, 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 do. And action. There we go. There you go, Yellowfish. I used to work in a liquidation similarly to that, but for residential mortgages. We sued by proving that the bank had miscalculated the interest and other charges. Yeah, exactly. It's the American sport. It may be. There might be foreign leagues to it even. Who knows? It all comes down to the legal system, So yeah, that's the binaries. You can basically, what happens is it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. The action has to be, because the funds have to do something, especially if it's something related to inflation, because I swear it seems like every hedge fund, every mutual fund, all find a way to throw something about inflation in there, to give them room to maneuver, I guess, And so that can create, just anything that might even remotely look like inflation that gets them jacked a little bit, and they jump in, they make some trades, and then they walk away, and then all of a sudden everybody's looking, like Janos was saying, it's gotten to a point now where the volatility doesn't even have a sustainability. It used to be those statistics used to drive markets for hours and maybe even a day or so. Now they drive them for minutes, and now they're starting to fall into seconds where it drives it. So the binary options are, used, just right. And if you want to use a binary for a 3 minute, you set it up 2 minutes before the news, and then in that last minute is the news, And then there's Huey Lewis in the news. And so that's what it all comes down to. All right. I think so. That's the best way to use the 3-minute binary. And let me think. What else is there? I guess that's about it when it comes to the binary. I mean, I could find more things to say about it if you're interested. You just have to give me a little dialogue to it. That's all. All right. Now let's jump over to. Where are we jumping over to now? Let's jump over to the Turkish lira. Let's see what it's doing. And there's the Turkey lira going for another all-time high. Boy, they drag it hard though, don't they? It barely can touch 75. You would think that they could go. I mean, 7.50. You would think they would hit the 50 mark. You know. You can see here. We've been in a buy. What's that? That's a bunch of days now. That's line 17. There it is right there. 40 weeks now in a weekly buy. 6 days in a daily buy. Talk about something that's lost, has gone beyond escape force, What goes up must come down. In this case, it has escape velocity. Obviously, that president / old prime minister has got this thing rocking and a rolling. And as you can see there, we've been in a weekly buy now since somewhere in December. And look what it's done. It just refuses to go into a weekly. And it almost broke into the weekly sell around, I guess it was in here. I mean, the white line touched 1 week, the black histogram touched another week, but the two could not unite together. And the following week, it was flying up, and away. And now this thing is just, again, just pressing forward. Alas. Oh, how you doing? Okay, and then Yellowfish says, does your system work on lower time frames? Yeah, it works on all time frames. I know most of your trades are on daily. No, we just do the webinar for daily and weekly. You can see here. Here's a live, you can take, here's a 2,000 contract, I guess it is. I thought I was using a 3 something in there. Where's that? I guess what is that? Is that it right there? Here's the NASDAQ 100, which is probably the wildest and woolliest of all the products. Let's put a different background into that. Oh, and let's show you. Let's see, background. There we are. And let's give this a spin to clean it up. And then here it is. Back in the old days, I would run a live, where you used a camera. Instead of having it on me, I would have it on the chart. And I'd have a little over in the left corner above the spreadsheet, because I always have the spreadsheet going, which is the fact check spreadsheet, showing you our math predictions constantly, and the track record of it. And here you have, in this case here, let's see, went into the buy right here. Let's give that a little line here. So it went into the buy right there. Let's make that an interesting color. Let's make it black like that. You'll be able to see it. So it went into the buy there. You can see we had a red and green dot also at the same time, telling us there was some volatility coming in. It popped the next bar. It came back, tested a little bit, and it's still in there. This here, let's see if we can widen this. Did it slip out of it and slip back in it? I don't think it slipped out of it. That's what happened. Yeah, it did. It fell into the cell here. So then it fell into the cell there, then went back into the buy again with a volatility signal again. And you can see again it predicts the future of physical events, moving forward in time. And so now you can see here it's giving us we're going to try to sell you a little bit. See what that does. You can watch that live. How am I? I feel really good today. Been really productive today. Been rolling along since I guess around 4:30ish our time. So 4:30 a.m. So feel very productive. Got a lot of physics done. So read a couple things that was entertaining. Found something that was worth actually commenting on. It's been a good morning. Did a lot of good physics. Did a lot of good market. So I'm kind of jazzed. Always like doing a little math and physics in the morning. Always a positive. Now you can see here it went into the sell here, and notice at the same time it's going in the wrong direction. And we'll see. We'll live and die by our charts as we always do on this in this webinar. And that's Carl B. What's shaking? What's up, cowboy?
Yeah, I have a new emotion.
A new emotion. I like that.
Yeah, I'm up like 4,500 hours, and I went, you know what? I feel satisfied.
Oh, I like that. You just told the whole planet that. I'm on my webinar.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I feel satisfied.
There you go.
I got up, I left, I turned the machine off. I'm going to run to work. I'll turn it on, and I'll just trade. Instead of trading big contracts, I'm going to trade one.
Yeah, keep it.
Play
Exactly.
around one contract till I see a run, and then I'm going to jump on it.
There you go.
But I feel, first time, 8 months, I feel satisfied and confident.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I got to jump off because I'm doing the webinar, but I like that. That sounds good, and that's exactly. I mean, the $20,000 weeks are doing it to you. You're starting to see the.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. All right. I will catch you in a little bit. Ta-ta for now. All right. All right. I'm back. So I'm sure you heard that because I can hear it too. So that's a trader that's been following our work. Now look at that. It zigzagged into a buy, and you lose money, and now it's trying to go back into a sell right there. We'll see what happens. We've got the 77 ticks to go, 64, 63, and so forth. And we'll see if this thing breaks and makes the money that it lost on this trade, which it usually, over the last 43 years, has always done that. So I don't have much of a doubt, just like his calmness. No, it didn't go into a sell. Look at that. It's still up in there. So now the only way it goes into a sell is maybe on this one. And we'll sit and see. And we see back-to-back volatility signals at the same time. So it's giving up some profits from this trade, but not enough of them that you are still in the plus versus the minus. And so, yes, yellowfish, lower time frames like 336 ticks or 2,000. Here we have one on here running 2,000. Let's change the background on that one. There's 2,000. And we can put all of them up there together. Like so. Let's see that, and what is that? We can bump. Let's see. So there it is right there, the 2001, and it went into the buy for here. Let's see if we can put a thing there. Where'd it go into the buy? It went into the buy right there. I guess we have to extend that up, and let's see what that did. See if it made do re mi. No, it's that one's even more a little bit precarious. The only thing that normally tells me not to get that involved in something like that is these the darker histograms. Since they're minus, normally I don't take that trade. But I figured for show purposes, why not? Let's go back to 336. Okay, finally. Yes, they're in the sell finally. Okay, let's see how far this one goes back down now. There we go. So how about checking GBP? That's cool. We just did that too. It's kind of impressive, the GBP. Do you want to see it in a short-term intraday, or do you want to see it on the daily weekly? We're going to do that while you figure it out. I'm going to go over to the daily weekly and show you that again. Easy, easy. I like looking at things back again. You never know what's next coming around the corner. And let's see. Let's head over to right there. And there's the cable right. I know it's around here somewhere. There it is. Yeah, it's breaking down the weekly right there on our work. You can see that. So it's having its issues. We still have a couple days there to confirm, but it's been that daily sell for a few days. But 3, 4, 5. This is the 5th day in a daily sell. So that's the cable. Oh, 1 hour, 4 hour. We can do that. Sure. Didn't even look past the line when you said cable. Let's go find that. Let's see. Where do we go? Let's do it. Let's do it where the short term is. So this thing went into the sell finally right there at what is that? That is 11,218 and a half, traded down to 14 and a quarter. So 4 1/4 points there. You can see it's trying to climb back up again. Notice that the darker histogram inside there, which is why we call it the super, is telling us that they want to buy it more than sell it. And so this is just noise on an upwardly trend. Now let's go try that. Let's do cable. Let's see. We used to keep one in there. New chart. Let's see. Let's try this one. We'll do this. File, copy window, file, paste window, and now let's put that in there. 1 hour. Right there. Product. Spot or cash. GBP. And there it is live. There it is live. I guess that's not enough time. We got to put more days back for this. Hold on a second. Let's see. Let's go back 22 days. There we are. Now it's backfilling, so that's good. Now let's go check that product again on the 336. Let's see. So it popped up with volatility signal and went nowhere and is now trying to break down again. And we got that dark one. Let's try to emphasize that a little bit more. I don't use this tick base for oh yeah, okay, that's all right. So that's all right. That's okay. And so you can see here it's trying to break down again. It's going into the sell. Let's see how far this one drops, because now we've got the dark bars breaking down like they did here. So that'll help out a little bit more. And now let's go back to the oven and open it up and see what the cable is doing. Huh. All right, let's do this. Let's just try like 12 days back or something like that. There we go. See, we're measuring such a minute movement that is so small that we have to widen it. There it is. Remember, I set this up to contest the Higgs boson in 77, so it's measuring very small movements. There we go. Okay, so there's your hourly. Let's see, where did it go into the sell? Well, let's do this. So went into the sell there. Went into I guess it was in a sell. Most of the time it's been in a sell. So it went into a sell here. Climbed into a buy there for a couple hours. And it started to vacillate. And then back and forth. And then broke the time manifold. That's the two white lines, the plus and minus lines. And then it went into a nice little sell again. Then tried it again, getting into a buy there, failed. Then went into a sell again. And it was a winner chicken dinner. And then it tried to get into the buy there for one, and then failed. And back in there again, another winner chicken dinner. So whatever you lose on that little trade, you make in a multitude of abundance. And then it tries to get into a buy here for a few. Breaks down there, and I guess right there, which is kind of interesting, is that it tries to go into a buy and then a sell, and then there, and then I guess we have news that perked this little thing? You can see it's trying to get rolling along there. Now let's go check out 4 hour. All right, here we go. Now, why is that looking? I guess it's just backfilling. Let me just double check the data. Okay, there we go. And so there is 4 hour. It's backfilling still to fill in a few seconds. Oh, jeez. Just saw that. Okay. Just saw that. We'll go through it all over again. So, and then, let's see. Let's go back to the 336. Okay, and there it is there. Yes, sir.
Hello. Your buddy, what's his name, Ron?
Right.
Talked with him.
Oh.
He loves your work, but it's not something he can be using right now. He's doing a lot of spreads.
Oh, he always does little spreads. He's one of the biggest spread traders on the planet.
Was he?
Yeah, no, what not was. He still trades, in the $15,000-$20,000 a day area. Oh yeah. Yeah, he's a maniac.
He just wanted to say it's useful, but not for him.
Yeah, that's him. That's him.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. I thought that was entertaining.
Possibility.
Nah,
But
I'm sorry.
you thought it would be what?
I thought it was funny that he even tried to subscribe. I mean, him and I even have a joint account somewhere. I didn't even understand that one at all. Doesn't make any sense to me, but that's all right.
Because he loves your work.
Yeah, I know he does. Oh God, yeah, he does. He loves my work. I know that. Oh, I know that. I find it funny. I'm in the webinar. I got to jump.
Off the list.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, you are. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, I'm back. There we go. Now you can see it. Let's see. Where are we at here? God, what is this? Grand Central Station? All right. And so you can see here, it went into the buy here, and it's doing a nice job up on the 4-hour. It went into the sell here. It went down. Went into the buy here. It didn't do you too much of a favor there. You gave up a few profits from these nice wins, but still well beyond your still winner, chicken dinner. Went into the sell here. It made some money, and then it turned in the wrong direction. And again, always traders, take a profit. How many times have I said that over and over and over again? If you have a position on and you're making money in it, if you don't take it off, the next time you're taking it off is when you're losing money, so take a profit. So you can see here, it was a nice little buy. You could make a profit out of that trade. You can make a profit out of this short. You can make a profit out of this long. Every one of these can do something of that nature if you're dynamic enough to take a profit, make money there. And so it works well on the 4-hour. You can see that. Let's scrunch that up and see what we can show you there. Went into the buy here. The object moves in space up. Goes into the sell here. The object goes down. Goes up. Oh, this is nice strength here. Now you got all the colors joining in. And then it breaks down in here, and we have the object go minus. So there you go. Yes, it works really well in 4-hour frame or 336 contract frame, or here's the S&P 500 on a 3,600 contract bars. Went into the buy here, which was interesting. We widen this out. And then it had just a small little profit, and then it broke down, and it had a nice little profit, and now it's trying to break up again, going on the upside again. So it works really well on the short term. It's the same math, all of it. Use the same math on the daily, the weekly, the daily, so forth and so on. Back tested, 36 million years on this, and on physical entities in the universe and so forth. Let's see, Yellowfish. While you're talking about taking profits, do you use trailing stops? Yes, trailing stops work very well, especially because they're trailing, which means as something rises, your stop moves higher up. That's what a trailing stop is for traders that don't understand what a trailing stop is. So what happens, the trailing stop, you put the trailing stop on, and your product goes up, and it jumps up high, and the next thing you know, if you have just a regular stop where you entered, then you don't take a profit. If you don't take a profit, then you can't make money. And so trailing stops rise, and as they rise, it gets past the point where you bought, and next thing you know, when it does take the stop, it takes a stop in a profit. Glenn. Glenn? Let me put my glasses on. Is that an I or an L? I think that's an I. Gianna. Cassetta. Let's see. What do we got there? Sia Atutu. Okay. Sia Atutu to you also. How are you doing today? Thank you for stopping in and saying hi. We're just looking at some short-term stuff here. We look at dailies and weeklies normally. And we are dissecting the rest of the marketplace. Traders ask a question. I am willing to respond pretty much on anything and everything. Oh, let's just see what he said there. U.S. dollar EIA, energy outlook, does not have outcome in internet. How we shall understand if the raise the GBP cable or the GBP US dollar or make it fall. Thanks. EIA, the energy energy, like the volume that they put out in the oil. Let me see. Let's go over to oil. Let's see where we at. Right there. There's lumber. Lumber was an interesting trade. Went into the buy here, and we went in and out of dailies. It was an interesting mash, and we went into the sell up in here. And then we couldn't get into the buy because it was a red and a green. The next day you do it. The next day it went minus again. So it told us that it wanted to go down in value, and it has gone down in value. So now let's go find you the crude oil. And there's crude oil. We went into the weekly sell last week here, and it was really instant gratification, really, really quick. I think we went. That's the end of the week, right? What is that? There's the fourth. Third, there's the fourth. Okay, so went into closed in the weekly sell here. It had been in a daily sell since here, and so the object was telling us that it wanted to go down here, and then what did it do? It went down. So energy information, that comes out on Tuesday evenings and Wednesdays, and then you have natural gas on Thursdays, and so that can have some interesting effects to the market. That would be good for binary options. You could play off of those numbers also at the same time. You do that 3-minute binary. I'm making sure I'm answering all the questions here. Why this sudden sharp rise at 13 BST? Well, usually it's 12:30 BST to 13. A lot of American economic data comes out. And so from unemployment numbers to labor, LBSs, PPI, CPI, things like that come out. And so that forces the institutions and the funds to make position shifts. Nothing too dramatic anymore, but they do that. And the same thing with the energy thing. At 4:30, so that would be like 21:30 GMT or something like that. And that does it also. So it's that's what's really going on there. Oh, what do we got from the Advanced Institute? Oh yeah, I saw that already. Yeah. Juan's up on there. That's cool. Okay. All right. So now let's see. What else are we going to do here? Let's take a look at. What are we doing here? There's Juan. Let's give you a shot of Juan. Mr. String Theory. Dun, da, da, da. There we are. All right. Now let's jump over to. What are we jumping over to? Anybody want to see anything particular besides that? There's the oil. You see the oil's doing its thing, That was in a long buy. Where's that? That was, now it's only 1 week in a buy, but that was like, I guess, was it 2, 4, 6, 8. Am I doing that right? 2, 4. I get the 4 in it. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it was 15 weeks in a buy up to here from down in here. So that was an interesting move. And look at it. They're giving a lot of it back. As soon as we went to that particular sell joins in with the weekly. That's why we suggest always that if you're going to follow our math, you want the weekly and the daily to be working in unison. And so when you see that, then what happens is that usually it's a winner-winner chicken dinner. All right, now let's. What are we doing here now? Let's see. So that was crude oil. Do we have anything else we want to look at? Anybody want to look at anything? How about you, Cassetta? Do you have an interest in any particular product we can put up there for you? Be my guest. It's cheaper by the dozen. Do 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 do. Yeah, that's the ticket there. All right. If there's no questions, I'll go find something. What should we find here? Oh, there we go. May I ask? You may always ask. Which platform or website do you suggest me to check spot forex news and analysis? I do like Dukascopy. You know, they have a really good economic calendar. Let me see if I can find it on here. It's right here. It's on their setting here, I think. View. You can go to the strategies and so forth, and then services, news right here. They have a good economic calendar, right there. They do. They have a very good one. You know, Bloomberg is a spotty because they put a lot of politics into it. And if it's a positive thing for the economy, chances are they're going to say some negative things first, so you're going to be a little confused on what's going on. They're not really big at reflecting anything that's positive. It always has to be relatively negative. Doesn't matter, you know. Like in other words, you had unemployment at historic levels. They always found ways to tell you that it, you know, just it wasn't as good as we were hoping. It's like, well, how much can you hope for? So you've got to stay away from Bloomberg. Bloomberg is really a good terminal for fixed income. So in other words, if you trade bonds, you know, it's well worth looking at and using. They have a very good charting service. But after that, their news and analysis can be really, really skewed because it's, you know, there's, you know, it's First Amendment in the United States allows anybody to say anything about anything. So when they're in the news factor. So, you know, I mean, you could kill somebody and, you know, if you were Bill Clinton and you raped somebody, as far as I'm concerned, you know, he accidentally fell inside of her. He didn't mean to. He just was walking along and his pants fell down and he fell down on top of this woman and he didn't mean to be there. He just happened to be there. And that's the way they report it. You know, but if it was somebody else that was in the opposition of their political points of view, then they are, you know, a 50-year felon, pedophile, needs to be electrocuted. You know, so you can't really trust Bloomberg News or most of the mainstream news in the States because they have the First Amendment that protects them. And since they're owned by the 6 out of 7 of the news agencies are owned by the Democrat hierarchy, you're not going to get a lot of clear news from Bloomberg, unfortunately. Unless you're trading bonds, then what they do is they report really good last trades and some analysis of bonds. But then there is no Republican or Democrat bonds, basically, so they can do that. But if it's anything else, like on an economic level and so forth, you're not going to get a clean story at all. Let's see. Does Bloomberg Terminal, Metastock, Morningstar platform, etc.? I haven't used a Bloomberg. I used to have one at the house here. I didn't, you know, in the office and so forth. I haven't used Bloomberg in decades. I really haven't. You know, 2 decades maybe now, 20 years. So I'm not really sure what they're doing anymore. I just know that when I, you know, read their stories on their website or, you know, on their financial channel, the stories are so skewed that they're not worth watching. So I rarely watch them anymore. If I have them on, it's for their tape and their last transaction data. And so I have the volume down. But the headlines themselves sometimes don't make any sense. Does Bloomberg... we did that. I'm only looking for a trade spot Forex. Stay with Dukascopy. They're fine. Major pairs only for this news and analysis as well. You're here at Dukascopy now for me. Stay at Dukascopy. It's better. I check CNBC. Yeah, CNBC I have on in the background too. It's a little bit better. There's a few like Joe Kernan and Mike Santelli and Mike Santorum and Rick Santelli. You'll get some straight information out of them. But after that, it goes downhill. So Kramer can be entertaining at times, but he does have an agenda. A major Democrat donor. He's very active in the Democrat Party. So he does have an agenda. He tries to look neutral. Let's see. I'm only looking... Their news is fairly impartial. Nah. I'd say it's fairly impartial. Or partial. I'm sorry. Fairly partial. I find maybe 3 out of 4 stories inaccurate. Whereas Bloomberg, it's probably like 9 out of 10. Not sure it's exactly what you're looking for. Daniel, what's happening? ¿Qué pasa? We're just marching along here, discussing this, that, and the other thing. The FT used to be good. I used to, get it for decades. I haven't, that in the Wall Street Journal. I've stopped. I read the Wall Street Journal for over 40 years. And I gave my subscription up, I guess about a year and a half, 2 years after the Murdochs took over it. Because it's really confusing nowadays. The FT, that can vacillate back and forth. The New York Times is, if you live in New York City, it's worth reading because it's about New York, basically. But it has not much to do with the rest of the country or reality. Yeah, I don't find the FT I find the FT way better than the New York Times. The New York Times, at this point in space, it makes almost no sense whatsoever. What's that? What at 333? The S&P? Yeah, it's doing, they're doing an interesting correction in here. That thing with SoftBank and so forth was fascinating. It really pushed it up nice. We'll see. It seems like it's digging its heels in. Let's look at that. Right there. You can see it's still holding on to its weekly buy, even with all this weakness that occurred. Where are we on that thing? That's line 26. No. 27. 13 weeks in a buy. What's more curious is the NASDAQ is 22 weeks in a buy, and last I saw it was still underneath the weekly number. Let's see if it's going to survive that this week. And it's just hump day, so they're trying to turn up. You can see here the white line was minus yesterday and has now turned back up again. Let's move that over so you can see it. You can see the histogram was much lower yesterday, and you can see that it's trying to turn up also, and you can see it's trying to get into a daily buy again. So, they took some nice chunk out of this baby, didn't they? So what was that, from 1250 basically down to 11? That's pretty good, I think, you want to buy low, sell high, so I think it's probably trying to set up something for a nice move up. Let's see, S&P touched monthly, I guess, low, is that? Then jump back. Not before spiking down below to take more stops out. Yeah, that's one way to buy low and sell high, Knock out the stops below and then watch them try to recapture their position. And so you can see here, it's trying for the last couple of days. Let me see if I can show you a picture of yesterday's and the math. Let's see, where is it at? Minimize that. Yeah, let's minimize that. And then we go to here. And let's go down to... Oh, you know what I need to do is go into the email and do it. So cancel that. Go to there. So I have to go into yesterday's email and see if I can show you what it looked like. Looky. Let's see what yesterday, like AM. Yesterday AM. Let's see if we can find it here. Who has it? One of the subscribers have it. I can tie into the subscriber emails. So let's see. Where are you? Not there. Maybe here. I'll show you the NASDAQ. There it is. I found it. I found it. View. Here it comes. I'm going to bring it up on the... Well, I can just shift, that's all. Yeah. See, here we go. This was the close of... what was it? It says 27th, but it's not 27th. It's saying October. So that was... Let's see, where was that? That would be... That's Monday, Tuesday. This is the close of Tuesday. Or the morning. This is the morning of Tuesday. Here we go. You're going to see this now. So you can see the white line had broken down. The histogram was pushing through the time manifold, and then and you can see it live right there. Now the white line has moved back up through the time manifold right there. You can see that the histogram is literally almost plus again, or is plus, live as we speak. That's line 4. So what is that? That is line 4. So it is actually 1.83, 2.0, 217. So our math measures incredibly small increments. Well, I remember I said I created this to measure atomic theories. So it's got some enormously small measurements. So you can't measure particles if you're using this surface area. Anyway, there you go. You can see it's trying to move back up again. And you can see right here we're at the highs of the day. So, and we'll see. And then if you want, again, we can flip back just really quick. Really, really, really. Sound like a Spice Girl. Really, really. You can see it right down in here. Where yesterday morning, it was all breaking down. And that's what's nice about a dynamic system. That's live. And then you get a chance to, hey, Bitcoin, what's happening? I put out Bitcoin last night. S-pivot. S1 is a pivot. Cool. So it went down to the pivot, the monthly pivot. You want to see something? I put this out. I send emails out to everybody that asked for them for free back in yesteryear, and everybody's grandfathered in. Now you have to go to Chicago Quant to see them. And so everybody's grandfathered into the ones I send out. And check this out. This is Bitcoin. Where is it at? Where is it? There. No. There it is. And I sent this chart out last night. You can see it's trying to come back up. Actually, it went into the daily buy yesterday, so it was like 12 days in a sell all the way back in here. So now it's moving along on the upside there. And you can see here it's showing some life again with the market. It's leading the market. We showed you a chart. Here, check this out. This was interesting. We put this on Inside Futures a couple months back. Right there. So this is Bitcoin up top, the Bitcoin future. This is the NASDAQ 100. Interesting how they tailed off together. Then this is what is that? What could that be at 195? Oh, that's gold. That's what it is. Okay. So that's gold. And then underneath at the bottom is, what is that? That's crude oil. So it's interesting how they all march along in some trending universe. They do try to trend together. Birds of a feather. Oh, that's all right. Just thought I'd show you. It's quite all right. Just the nickname alone is cool, I like that. I know, Daniel. I like that. That's a good name. But then, so is Yellowfish, too. I mean, that's really cool. Yeah, it went into a buy yesterday. It's in a weekly sell, but it's in a daily buy at the moment, so there's some pressure on the upside. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you like that? Birds of a feather flock together. Yeah. Doc being Doc. So, what title should we use today? I'm kind of at the end of the road here. I got to come up with a title, or I end up forgetting in the middle of the heat of battle with the market and so forth. So, what should we use for a title? Let's see. Title. Anybody have a particular opinion? How about this? Intraday trading. Intraday versus day and week charts. How's that? That sounds like a good one. Intra versus day and week charts. We're going to use that. Alrighty, traders. This is Doc from North America. We got to go like a Rivaderci because our markets are getting ready to physically open in 2 minutes plus. So, as we always do, we'll send you out with the singing trader. That's me. That's right. It's me. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends.